siren goal.
Hello and welcome to Thursday Lines. I'm your host, Luke O'Brien, aka OB. Thursday Lines is brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form and Comics Lounge. As we say, welcome to MG.
How are you, OB?
Good, thank you, mate. 7 of 8 favourites wins. It makes it 19 out of 20, so your pockets will be full.
Going okay, yeah. I don't think the bookies are enjoying the AFL the last 3 weeks, but they've got a big lead on the year, so give a bit back during the winter.
And your favourite topic keeps rearing its head, goal kicking. Obviously, Dan Houston missed that memo, but everyone else sort of still struggling in front of the big sticks.
Yeah, it just continues on, and Melbourne 4th week in a row now. It's cost them another win, and obviously Essendon had a chance to put it away before Houston. So yeah, we could spend a whole podcast on it, but yeah, it just continues. And finally, the Melbourne coach did acknowledge it in the press conference that they've got to start working on it, which surprises me because I would have thought that it would have been done well before now. But yeah, disappointing again.
And we don't know if Toprope's there. I don't know if he's part of this Rugby League Association boycott. We'll just, Toprope, are you there? You're with us?
I am here. I will not talk about rugby league, but I'll happily chime into how a sport manages to exist with its number one skill no one practices or is good at. Thanks, AFL.
Well, let's just go. I think it's sort of under 13s footy in the NRL last weekend with some massive results. The Sharks 52-16 over the Dragons. The Cowboys over the hapless West Tigers, and the Knights 66-0 as well. What he is doing?
Yeah, so the Cowboys Tigers won, probably not to the extent of it was probably on the cards a little bit. The Cowboys had kind of come good after they got flogged. Of course, it was only 5 weeks ago they beat the Tigers beat the Cowboys 66-18. So one of the great turnarounds of all time. But 74-0, the third biggest win in Premiership history, the largest win since 1935. The equal largest score since 1935. So incredible victory there. Tigers in all sorts following that one. That was a pretty disgraceful performance. The Dragons, look, the final score probably was probably a little bit harsh on the Dragons. I thought they were in that game reasonably close. Had a couple of bad decisions against them. The fact they capitulated wasn't ideal, and the Bet Hunt situation tended to loom pretty large over them. But so their season was done. I'd say they're probably pretty clear favourites for the Wooden Spoon right now. I'll tell you what, that Bulldogs game, I don't think anyone saw coming. That game, the Bulldogs went home. They were 2.5 point underdogs. Their lives are going no good at all. And I think it was nil after 10 minutes. 66-0. I don't think they scored a try in the last 10 minutes. So that was one of the great all-time hammerings. I was very happy to be driving on the way to Foster and he saw the highlights of it, but was pleased that Cameron Ciraldo wielded the axe pretty heavily this week.
That's good. I think you had to. And NRL State of Origin as well coming up, top rope. And as we look at the odds there, the Blues 2.25 to avoid a clean sweep, and the Maroons $1.65. The line 3.5 over under 41.5. What are your initial thoughts on team selection and anything for the punters out there early stages?
One of my initial thoughts on team selection, this is one of the most diabolical teams I've ever seen before. It is nonsensical. Even Bradford was great defenders in the media are struggling to make sense of this team. Utter rubbish. Like, honestly, I don't know what he's thinking with this other. Clint Gus on the bench to go with. They've been 2 actual props in the game for the entire game. We're getting smashed in the middle time after time. Origin is constantly one down the middle. No, that's it. Finally with a drum roll, right? Something. Did Nico Hines get a recall? No. Even though he was obviously considered one of the better halfbacks going into Origin 1, played 12 minutes right centre, never to be seen again. Honestly, some of the decisions. Yeah, one game wonders. We saw, Stefano Camaro given I think 11 minutes in game 2, dropped. Well, why not? It was definitely his fault. So rubbish. Just back Queensland. This game does not need to be overanalyzed. Just back Queensland, do your absolute best, get your money in the middle. Yeah, Brad Fittler is an absolute joke. He's a disgrace to New South Wales, and all the good work he did playing has been completely eradicated by this utterly ridiculous side. We haven't even got to his use of the bench yet. I can't wait to see how that works out. He's definitely going to know how to use Clint Gutherson and Reece Robson on the bench. That definitely won't cause any problems for him.
I think I can see Borko in the background having kittens here if I ask any more Brad Fittler questions. So we'll move on. But just a quick one though. Like I'm a massive Cody Walker fan, and and I like Clint Gutherson, but why they are playing in a dead rubber in Game 3 is beyond me.
I couldn't agree more. I absolutely love Cody. Cody deserved his chance. Cody deserved to be there in Game 1. Playing a 30-plus-year-old in a dead rubber shows no signs for the future. And it just makes no sense. And Clint Gutherson on the bench, what's the point? Honestly, if you want to play him at fullback instead of Tedeschi, play him at centre, because he's not going to get any more than 10 minutes. He's only going to come on if there's an injury. Just because there's been an injury in the first 2 games in the centre doesn't mean you're going, all of a sudden, this is your contingency. Like, it just makes no sense.
I agree. As we'll keep whipping through it, we've got a bit to get through today. We look at the scores, AFL scores for round 16, MG, and Brisbane kicked off last Thursday night in very impressive fashion.
Yeah, they're going along nicely, Brisbane. At home, just dominant. They're 7-0 now at home and beat a very disappointing Richmond, unfortunately, who lost both Prestia and Martin, who do come back in for this week, but it was just too much for them. And Richmond looked disinterested and Brisbane put a big win on the board. The next game was obviously a close one, being a draw. Geez, it was an ordinary game. Combined 13 goals, 30, just terrible kicking. Very ordinary match and probably deserved to be a draw. Sydney very unlucky and might cost them a final spot at the end of the year, not winning that one. Adelaide destroyed Kangaroos, probably as expected at home. They keep winning at home and Kangaroos don't win anywhere. They've lost 13 in a row now. The Bulldogs did what they had to against Fremantle's, probably played out how it would be. Bulldogs at home and Fremantle struggle on the road. 2 evenly matched teams, but yeah, Bulldogs get the win there. Collingwood absolutely destroyed Gold Coast. This game mystified me. Anyone who follows the Stings, we double dipped on this game. Market went completely against us. Bet again at -4.5 at the death. I'm just not sure some of these market swings that go out, but yeah, that was the easiest watch you'll ever see. Didn't even bother sweating it all there. It was very good. Port Adelaide kick after the siren from 55. As you said earlier, they should learn how to kick from this bloke. He is a freak. In the wet, 55 after the siren, put it through to get Essendon up. Again, Essendon missed a very easy shot. Parrish kicked 0-4 for the game, missed a snap from about 20 metres out with no one in front of him, would have ended it. Carlton destroyed Hawthorn. They're beaten up on the week last 2 weeks, Carlton, and Hawthorn continue to be disappointing. The Giants get the job done with a late goal again from outside 50 to beat Melbourne, who have got issues, and St Kilda, the scare of the year, being 50-odd point favourites and being down for large chunks of it, just get home by 8 points against West Coast, who could not beat anyone.
A win's a win. As we look at the round 16 stats, 7-9 favourites cover the total 5 of 9. Cover the line 5 of 9, over total 5 of 9, and the home teams 3 of 9. So few teams away from home. As we look again, the favourites, they keep doing what they're doing. 88 over 134 at 66% for the season. And the over totals, few high scores there at 53%, and the home team at 52% are probably the other two. But favourites the last 3 weeks in particular have certainly taking a bit of cash from the bookies.
Yeah, so normally the 70% is normally the even money bar for what you look at a year. Most of this year it's sat around the 60 to 61, and you can see the last 3 weeks kind of 66. So it's certainly treating up to be a more even year as we get on. So yeah, the favourites are definitely having a run.
As we look at the NRL scores for round 18, top rope, we've already discussed a couple of big scores, but a couple of close ones with the Raiders and also the Sea Eagles.
Yeah, I mentioned the Sharks smashed the Dragons. They'd probably favour the Sharks a little bit. Same on the big wins. And I like that local derby. But these big upsetting the Warriors, 28-6. Warriors ended up jumping 5.5 point favourites in that one. Only torrential rain, but went completely to the water, and the Bunnies too good run away at the end there. Penrith beat the Storm 34-16. Storm had 4-10 mil to be in cruise control. But 3 big tries before the break. Panthers got up and ended up running away with that one. Raiders Titans, but closer than the score suggests. At 26-20, some controversial decisions there, including disallowing a try from David Fetty before half time, which was utterly disgraceful. Casey Badger should never work again. Cowboys 74-0. Not much more to be said. Broncos Dolphins, good game, 24-16. The Finns tried hard, just outclassed in the end. Selwyn Cobbo, 2 good hat trick there. Tonight, 66-0. Less said about that one, the better. And Manly on the back of referee Ben Cummins by 18-6 over the Roosters, who absolutely deserved to win. You don't see Trent Robinson blow up at the rest too much, but he certainly gave them some play.
Yeah, he's very level-headed. So if he says something, something is amiss. So, yeah, a bit stiff there, the Roosters, but it's, as a Bunnies fan, you don't mind seeing that. We have a look at the round 18 stats. 6 of 8 favourites in the NRL, covered the line 4 of 8, the over total 5 of 8, and the home team 5 of 8 as well. And the season, the favourites 64%, and the home team at 58%. Continue to dominate the markets, Top Rope.
Yeah, we're also seeing the over climb pretty steadily over the last kind of 6 to 8 weeks as well. It's 49% overs. We're looking at around 56, 57, 40, 43 split there for a while. So plenty of overs happening as the totals drop, but as the kind of floggings get heavier.
It helps with 3 cricket scores on the weekend as well. So that always helps proceedings. As we look at the global wrap, it's been a big week in world sport. The Aussie men's have won the second test, now leading 2-0. A lot of controversy. Most short balls ever bowled in a test match. Most hits on the body ever recorded in a test match. And Johnny Bairstow, you know where the crease is, mate, and stay there.
I don't know what all the hoo-ah is about. You've got to play within the rules. The Aussies had to catch was it the day before or 2 days before where they put on the ground, and that was overturned, and the Aussies, get on with the job. And then England is still going on. Well, we start the next test tonight, and the press is still going on about it and everything. I mean, fair to him, just stay in your crease. He walked out and got his right whack. I don't understand. And it's not like they haven't done it many times before. I know videos have surfaced and stuff like that. So everyone's had their go, and the coach is sooking it up as much as anyone. I mean, geez, I don't know what's better. New South Wales complaining about the Origin team, the English sooking it up, or New Zealand chiming in as well. It's just like the perfect cocktail for the Aussies.
Yeah, is there a big proper shit the spirit of the game? What other sport, the spirit of the game, actually try and trump the laws of the game? Utterly ridiculous. Yeah, I haven't seen a soccer player red carding stuff. If I was playing professional cricket, I would never walk. All 3 stumps could be knocked out of the ground. I won't stand by to raise his finger. That's what it's there for. You follow the rules of the game. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, professional sport trumps the spirit of the game.
Yeah. I think you've got to, within reason. I think you've got to play, but you want to play to win. So you've got to play to the line. But I still think there's an onus on the spirit for the young kids watching. But mate, the rules are the rules.
Well, so what happened with the spirit of the game 2 days earlier? It was clearly catch.
Right. And so rules are the rules. So you sort of that was within the rules. It wasn't. That's an argument for another day. But you have to play to win. I could not agree more. And you play within an inch of your life to win an Ashes Test match and do whatever it takes and stay in your crease. Pretty simple. The women's, the Australian women's, they lost overnight as well, but they're only 1 win away from retaining the Ashes. Third test starts tonight. The Australians are slight favourites, 228. The Poms at 250, the draw at 460. There is a little bit of weather around. So keep an eye on that. No Latham Lyon, but Todd Murphy is the future. I'm very bullish on Todd. But anyway, the Rocket Mortgage Classic winner in Michigan, a 3-way playoff. The pre-tournament favourite, Ricky Fowler, $16, beat the third favourite, Morikawa and Hadwin, all at 24 under. This week's tournament is the John Deere Classic. Prices at topsport.com.au. Anything from you there, Top Rope?
Firstly, great to see Ricky win. Not one of mine, but I absolutely love Ricky. And was great to see him back in the winners. So Michael will come out there for Ricky, so well under him. This week, looking for a bit of value. Very, very weak field this week. We've got Taylor Montgomery. I think you can get $85 at top sport. Well above the bucks. The mark there. He's a good bet. Taylor Moore, you can get $38 in. And there's a good young fellow worth playing. Sound pro like that. Ludwig Alberg. Around $31. So then 3 I'll be back in this week. And Women's US Open as well, Women's Major League this week as well. Minjee Lee looking to defend her crown. I think she's a bet at $29 there. And Ashley Boutai and Aaron Orkvist, kind of a bit of value there as well. I expect the Open form to hold up as it usually does at Pebble Beach.
Oh, beautiful! Love a little bit of odds for the weekend, and Wimbledon keeps on keeping on. Novak Djokovic $1.50, Carlos Alcaraz at $4.30, and then the rest are in double figures. Sinner, Medvedev, Rune, Tsitsipas, Zverev, Murray, and
There you go.
Rublev.
Been practicing your names.
I have. I've been practicing. As we look at the women's side of the draw, this is where I really struggle. Iga Swiatek, Arena Sabalenka, they're the two out in front, and Robakina as well at $5. And Javert and Petra Kvitova.
Yeah.
And I'll leave the rest to you, MG.
Yeah, Swiatek's, well, for the men's, firstly, obviously Djokovic is obviously very short, and there's only one really that probably can beat him. But yeah, we won't know. They'll just cruise through this week and go into next week, and then it'll all be about the semi-final and the final. And the women's started off wide open, but Swiatek getting through early, so she has shortened up a bit in the betting. And we haven't lost too many of the top women so far, so I'm still sticking with Robakina, the defending champ, at the second pick there.
And Ash Barty had a little baby boy as well last week. She'll be back on tour next year, so look for her at Wimbledon. You've heard that first here on the Thursday Lions podcast. Netball, Saturday night, grand final, the Thunderbirds, $2, and the Swifts, $1.77. The
Swifts and Morals.
Swifts and Morales.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, we've declared it. Austrian GP as well. Max Verstappen going for 5 straight race wins. He is at $1.33 at so he won last week. And
so he's won the last 5, and then they go into the British Open. He's
$1.33 at Silverstone this week. Shane Van Gisbergen won the NASCAR in Chicago on debut, first driver in 60 years to achieve that win on debut.
Unbelievable.
So good for the New Zealander that races in the V8 supercars here in Australia. Cycling, Tour de France continues. An Australian overnight, Hindley. He's holding the yellow jersey, Jai Hindley. Yep. He's about 40 seconds up, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, mate, amazing stage in the Pyrenees. He won that. So, yeah, leads by, I think it's 48 seconds at the moment. So he's tumbled in the betting now into third favourite. So on Top Sports there, we've got Vingard at, they were both about even money, Vingard and Potigar, before this stage. And you can see now Vingard, $1.36, Potigar's out to $5, and the Aussies crushed into $7 third favourite now. So he holds the yellow jersey, which is unbelievable for an Australian.
Is he riding for Green Edge, or is he riding for a...
No, he's not.
Just riding a Melbourne Star, is he? Yeah, okay.
Got me on the team. But it's great. It's great viewing. I love watching the Tour de France.
Okay. Right now it's time for Thursday Lions, brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with topsport.com.au. We look at the AFL Premiership prices. A little bit of movement there for Port Adelaide, obviously getting a little bit shorter by the week, and the Lions have shortened a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think Melbourne are probably the probably unders there at 650. I don't think I'd be touching them in the top 4 options there. I think they've got some issues at the moment. Can't get Oliver back on the park and lacking in the offense. So St Kilda give themselves a real shot this week and knocking them off. So I'd be staying away from Melbourne for mine. Of the value ones, I think Geelong are probably with their run home with the amount of wins. But yeah, there's not too much doing outside the top 3, and I just think that they're going to lock up, home finals. So I'd be staying away from Melbourne just at this stage.
As we look at the AFL Stings for round 16, it was a good week for MG. 5 of 6, 16 units bet. The result was plus 8.57. The profit on turnover 53.56. If you don't mind, MG, well done.
Yeah, good week. It was a few over totals in there, and they moved our way. So I was happy to get the chips in at a good price. And unfortunately, the only miss was that was a low draw, which Geelong and Sydney that kicked 13 goals 30, which I know Toprope's been laughing about. Cost us money, but yeah, other than that, very solid week, and happy with how the season's gone.
NRL Premiership prices sees the Panthers still out on top at $2.80, going for 3 in a row. The Broncos at $5.25, and the Rabbitohs have come in a point after their win over the Warriors last week, and the Storm just sitting there in 4th. You can't sleep on them.
Geez, they were disappointing though.
That was a very disappointing loss. Yeah, I totally agree. I thought they were very, very poor in the Panthers game. Just all the teams at all the potential contenders seem to be falling off, from the Panthers looming large, looking to become the first team to win 3 straight since the Parramatta Eels, 81-83. So, if you look at that one, the Cowboys look like they might be the team right out of the final spot. They're certainly kind of clicked a little bit last week. They're kind of pushing to the top spot. if you haven't bet, just put $15 on them, probably the way to go. But I do still think they're still one of the number one contenders are the Panthers, but after last bit, they seem Powell's awesome.
As we might just whip through the old GGOA, another bit of a disappointing week for the old top rope.
It's been
a debacle. Okay, I was going to go a little bit nicer, but it's a debacle. But if you haven't signed up already, it was a good couple of weeks to miss. So probably sign up this week and the little birdie.live shop.
What's it?
He's hoping the trip to the trip home from Foster's a bit smoother than the trip there, and he can get back to his winning ways. As we look at the Friday night game at Marvel, sees the Bulldogs and the Pies do battle. The Bulldogs $2.42, the Pies $1.53, the line 10.5 over under 166.5 mg.
Yeah, this will be a belter. Should be a sellout underneath the lid. Collingwood will rock up for this one. So a bit early money, a bit for the Bulldogs, more for probably the Collingwood lost both Maynard and Myercheck's going to hurt them with the injuries. They do get back to Goey to offset some of it, but I'm pretty keen on Collingwood still. I just think they're going better. I'm not sure where the Bulldogs are still at. I know they're 6 on the ladder at the moment, but I just think I just don't want to go against Collingwood until they actually start losing. I know they've only lost, they've won 10 of their last 11. And only lost to Melbourne by 4 points, which they had a chance to steal late. So, for the advantage of the Bulldogs, they have covered 9 of the last 13 against Collingwood. And Collingwood do struggle at the Dome. They've only covered 1 of their last 8 there. So they don't play often there, but they also don't perform there. So, I'm kind of keen on Collingwood. I really think there are points in this game as well. I think 166 is at least a goal too short. The Bulldogs' last 5 games have all gone over. So I'm keen on the points.
Dragons and the Raiders do battle on Friday night at Wynn Stadium. The Dragons $4.20, the Raiders $1.22, the line 11.5, over under 44.5. Top rope.
Yeah, look, we're going to have a bit of faith in this bet, but I don't want the Dragons at the 11.5. That bet Hunt, I think, might be a positive considering the drama he's brought up. Well, lack of Tyrrell Sloan is concerning, but Saints have covered 5 straight against the Raiders. Home teams off conceding 50 plus. They cover it 69% in the last 15 years. The Dragons have covered 3-0 when they've conceded 50, and the Raiders 17-34 against the as a favourite, 8-21 against the as a favourite off a win. Going with the Dragons here, boy, it's not going to be a pleasant watch.
I love the expression as well. You're backing your team, but you don't really want to.
Exactly what I think.
As we look at the Saturday night fixture, St Kilda and Melbourne at the Dome. The Saints $2.80, the Demons $1.41, the line 14.5, over under 157.5. The Saints coming back from the West and the Demons coming back from Alice Springs.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard sell like Toprope's previous game, I think. I'm really struggling to make heads and tails of this game. As you said, they're coming back from the West, coming back off the wet Melbourne. Melbourne are going no good. They still can't get Oliver in the team, which is a real concern for me. And now they lose their only really decent goal option in Fritz. So I can't come to either side. I can't trust any right now. And, the only saving grace is probably it's playing for 4th spot on the ladder, so they'll both be desperate. This could be a low standard game for mine. At least it'll be under the Dome, so maybe it'll be watchable. But, the only maybe slight shade would be for the unders. I think it might be a low-scoring game.
A bit of a dour Ross Lyon struggle. Eels and the Warriors do battle Saturday twilight. The Eels $2.20, the Warriors $1.67, the line 2.5, over under 42.5.
Yeah, tough game decimated by outs. The Eels have lost Mitch Moses to Origin, Regan Campbell-Gillard recalled, Clint Gutherson recalled. Sure, Eels fans are happy to be missing Cuthard for 80 minutes to replace 6 minutes off the bench for New South Wales. The Warriors, good news for them, bad news for them, good news for the Eels. The Warriors, Sean Johnson likely to miss due to the birth of his second child. So we are going to see kind of main playmakers out of this one. Probably got a solid Eels game. Everyone out all their stars. They've won 4 straight against the Warriors. They've covered 3 of the last 4 as an underdog at Combank. They have covered 18 of 27 off scoring 30 plus. Warriors covered just 6-15 as a favourite in Australia. I thought last week was a telling game, but they're finally kind of getting the weight of expectation, and boy, did they crumble very quickly. I think the Eels, not a bad bet this one.
Essendon do battle with Adelaide on Sunday at the Dome. The Bombers $1.80, the Crows $1.98, the line -2.5, over under 175.5. The Crows will need to start winning in Melbourne sooner or later, MG.
Yeah, you'll be front and centre for this game, OB, getting your airtime as usual on the bench there.
Yeah, I've got this one. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I think I'm looking forward to watching the Crows. Their forward line, Fogarty, Tilthorpe, Walker and Rankin, not to mention Rochelle and Murphy. It's good. They're good to watch.
Yeah, one of the better betting games for the week. I think you can make pretty strong cases for both. Essendon, obviously, at home, at Marvel, they've covered 6 out of the 8. So they are in form, whereas Adelaide on the road are 1-5 this year. So they're very good at home, very, very ordinary away. So it'll be a big test for Adelaide. But 8th versus 7th on the ladder, I think only one of these sides possibly can make the 8. So this is almost a mini final. I know we're 8 weeks out, but yeah, it's big for both sides here. Dead set keen on the over total here. They've, their history of the last 12 games, they've averaged a high 184 with 8 of those going over. So the total open in the marketplace at 169. Bet early on this. It's already to 175. I think this will close closer to 180. So I think there'll be plenty of points for you and plenty of clapping for goals, OB. Get on the over.
Absolutely. Titans and the Dolphins, another Q clash up there. The Titans $1.70, the Dolphins the Dolphins $2.15, the line -2.5, over under 49.5.
Yeah, this was a cracking game last time they met. The Titans led 26-0 in the first half and got beat 28-26. One of the comebacks of all time there. Really laid the foundations for the Dolphins. A strong start for the Dolphins season, but they're falling from out. The origin outs are certainly favouring the Dolphins. Titans are missing Brimson, Tino, Fafita and Fodawaker. But the Dolphins lost to Miso, Tabula, for Doe. Got to be the Titans here. I think they're probably a little steeled after the loss of Holbrook, although not bad on the road to the Raiders last week. They've covered 8 of 11 as a home favourite. They've covered 8 of 10 off conceding 26 plus. Looks like a pretty good spot. So I'm not sure the Dolphins are going to be able to roll in split in that hammer. So go with the Titans pretty small.
And the NRL kicks off tonight with the West Tigers at $10 and the Sharks at $1.05. The line 23.5, over under 50.5.
I actually love the Tigers this week. Plus 23.5. I think that's a sensational bet here. Teams off conceding 70 plus in the last 15 years, 3-0 against the spread. Teams off conceding 60 plus, 15-3 against the spread. Tigers have covered 11 of 14 off conceding 50. Not too many knocks on the Sharks, but worth noting that teams just scored 40 plus against teams who conceded 40 plus last week. Covered just 36%. Didn't the market what you do too strong for the Sharks here, going with the Tigers plus 23.5.
Saturday night sees the Rabbitohs and the Bulldogs taking the field. The Rabbitohs $1.53, the Bulldogs $2.50, the line -5.5, over under 43.5.
No Latrell, no Cody, no Cook, no Cam, no Keon, no Campbell. Absolutely chips in the Dogs on this one now. I like what he's done. I wasn't that keen on the Dogs early in the week, but like Burton he's going to play his friend play, and like that some change been made. Hayes Pam finally from Jack Gavrilo at fullback is a major positive. That sense, Blake Wilson for Adelaide, who's playing Origin, right? And this sign Titans halfback Toby Sexton, who will actually get some structure as and he couldn't get past Tanner Boyd, which isn't a great sign. But he did pretty high touting on him last year. So and he's a proper halfback. So I'm very happy to see him as well. So I think the Dogs will beat the Bunnies this week. I think they're going to be very lucky to do so. But I think by winning last year, you can have a little bit on 13 plus. I think it could be a fair old whack.
Beautiful. Well, we'll say thank you to you, Toprope. I know you've got a tea time, and time is of the essence up there in Foster to get out of the get away from the kids and get out of the in-laws' home. So thank you for another stellar performance, and we'll be watching the State of Origin and watching the NRL this week with great interest.
Wonderful to be here with you, lads. Time for my media strife. My phone.
Thanks, Toprope. Have a great weekend as we go through the rest of the AFL round 17 MG. The Tigers and the Swans at the MCG on Thursday night. The Tigers at $1.77, the Swans $2.05, the line -3.5, over under 160.5. Couple of superstars returning here.
Yeah, some good ins for both sides. Elimination final for both. On my ratings, I think one of these sides, if they're to make playing finals, have got to win 6 of their last 8, so the loser can bow out. I'm just going to sit and wait here. I think there's rain forecast tonight. And I think either way, the total's middle ground at the moment. I'm just going to see how it goes out close to the game. So expect maybe a play later on today, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, with the total, if the rain does come, the total under here at the MCG, the last 13 games, 10 have gone under at the G. So it's become a low-scoring game. Obviously, the weather coming into June and July helps that. So yeah, just stick fat and make sure you read the late play if there's one for the Stings there.
Brisbane Lions and West Coast. A couple of weeks ago, this was the most one-sided betting affair of all time. The Eagles have come in a few points. The Lions are $1. The Eagles are $34. The line is minus 81.5, over under 186.5.
Complete mismatch. Not often Toprope gets, he loves the 60 pluses in NRL, and he's had a few in the last couple of weeks. He also doesn't mind the 100 pluses in the AFL, and this is one for him. This is a mismatch. Brisbane grow another leg at the Gabba. The toughest road trip to go from Perth to Queensland as well. 6-day break for West Coast and got to travel. Lost their last 15 interstate. They will absolutely get smashed. Brisbane could win this by anywhere from 100 to 150. They'll light up the final forwards.
Okay, GWS Hawthorn, Saturday at twilight. The Giants $1.21, the Hawks $4.20, the line minus 28.5, over under 171.5 at Giants Stadium.
Yeah, Giants are going well, won 3 in a row. Hawthorn average side, they've lost 3 of their last 4, and 3 of those losses have been by 55 points or more. It's a simple equation for Hawthorn. It seems to be no Sicily, no Hawthorn. They've lost 7 straight at the venue, so they don't like to travel there. The line's priced up to its best, 26 up to 28 now, so the market is strong for the Giants. I just think they're in form and they'll do a job on Hawthorn. They'll win by as much as they need to.
Port Adelaide and the Gold Coast at Adelaide Oval on Saturday night. The Power $1.18, the Suns $4.60, the line at 29.5, over under 153.5.
Yeah, another tough week for the Gold Coast. They've been answering questions about their coach again. It's ongoing. It's got to just have some effect on the team. They got absolutely smashed by Collingwood last week, and I think, unfortunately, they're playing the top 2 sides back-to-back weeks. Got to travel to Adelaide now. Adelaide have won their last 13 against Gold Coast. They've only lost 1 in their history to them. At home, Port are now 7 of 8. They've only lost to Adelaide by less than a kick. This is a complete mismatch. Port obviously won 12 in a row, going for 13. They will win and win well. They have won their last 6 of 7 by more than 25 points against Gold Coast. So this will be a smashing.
The Cats are back at GMHBA Stadium. They're $1.05. The Kangaroos are $8.75. The line minus 48.5, over under 171.5, with Jeremy Cameron to return this week.
Yeah, hard to make a case for the Kangaroos. You go broke backing against the Cats down at Geelong. They'll put on a show. It's during the day. They've won their last 10 straight against the Kangaroos, and they've covered 9 of those at home. So, the only thing is that it will be worth watching for this game is the Kangaroos' last 7 games have been over. So I think there'll be plenty of scoring. The Kangaroos won't bottle the game up, and yeah, Geelong could put on a show as well down there.
If the Blues are any good, they will have to do a bit better against the Dockers. The Dockers $1.72, the Blues $2.08, the line minus 5.5, over under 163.5. I know you're not a Carlton fan, but are they any chance over there?
No, I'm not. They've beaten up on 2 weak sides of late. Surprise, surprise, the money's coming for them again in the market. That doesn't shock anyone these days. Freo opened 8, it's down to 5. I think there's a couple more points. It'll get closer. So if you like Carlton, I'd get on from now onwards. And if you like Freo, you can wait till more on Sunday to have your bet there for Freo. Head-to-head, Carlton have won 5 of the last 6 against Freo. And the Optus Oval has been an overscoring game, 5 of the last 6 there. So even though the total's 162, 163, and I do shade the under, I just think the way, it's the importance of this game for both sides, being 11 and 14th, trying to make their way into finals. I think this will be a dour affair as well. So, yeah, can't pick the winner, but I'm shading the under in this game.
Beautiful. Well, that's a wrap for this week's Thursday Lions. Thanks to MG and Toprope. As always, you can follow us on YouTube, find us in the Apple Store, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, wherever you listen to all your good podcasts. Follow at Little Birdie TV on Twitter and Instagram. Remember, all your footy betting action can be found at topsport.com.au. Join us next week. Punt well, punt responsibly, and have a great weekend, punters.